Previously on Merkaat Manor. Flower's daughters, Mozart and Tosca, both had litters of pups. Tragically, one of Mozart's pups died during a disastrous den move. Now, to make matters worse, dominant female Flower seems set on throwing Mozart out of the family. The scrub and the sand dunes of South Africa's northern Cape is home to the Whiskers, a group of 37 wild meerkats. Like all big families, they have their share of bust-ups and problems. What makes them different is that their everyday lives have been the subject of a 10-year study by Cambridge University. Cameras record daily events at their burrows, and their movements are tracked using a radio collar attached to Flower, the head of the family. It's fair to say that the Whiskers have been having a tough time recently, and it looks as though there is more trouble ahead. Young female Mozart is finding herself out on a limb. She made the fatal mistake of having pups, a privilege her mum, Flower, the dominant female, reserves exclusively for herself. Flower could well have chosen to kill the pups, but so far her wrath has only been directed at Mozart. The scars on the base of Mozart's tail tell a gruesome story. These are eviction scars and show that Flower has already attacked her several times. Also, she's covered in ticks because no one is grooming her anymore, another sign that she is being pushed out of the family. But Mozart has been doing her utmost to stay on ferocious Flower's good side. However, all her attempts at being submissive and apologizing to her mum are meeting with stubborn indifference. She's even gone as far as feeding Flower's pups, potentially leaving her own pups hungry. But Flower is an iron lady and she is not for turning. She is desperate to stay with her two remaining pups, but how long poor Mozart can hang on in the family is yet to be seen. If she is thrown out, she won't be there to protect them, and her own future is bleak. But it's not just Flower who has a tough and uncompromising approach to life. Her pups are now 7 weeks old and are developing strong personalities of their own. Flower's pups have a very good chance of being future leaders. When your parents are royalty, you are naturally born with a silver spoon in your mouth. So her pups spend a lot of time being assertive and practicing their combat skills. Mozart has had a rough time being put in her place. Now one of her surviving pups is about to get a lesson in family politics. Eucerian is taking a turn at babysitting. This unpredictable meerkat was directly responsible for the death of Mozart's pup, so he's hardly a good role model for Flower's pups. He's got Mitch with him and is useless at controlling him. Suddenly Mitch goes for Mozart's little pup, Sophie. He's decided to show her who's boss. True to form, Eucerian, the babysitter from hell, has stood by and allowed Mitch to viciously attack the tiny pup. Little Sophie hardly knows what hit her and is in a state of shock. Poor Mozart can do nothing. If she goes anywhere near Flower's pups, she'll get a beating from Mum. Rogue babysitter Eucerian seems totally unmoved by the pup's plight. He's really not cut out for this job. Sophie is learning some hard lessons about life in this particular family. and just what her place is in the pecking order. Finally, Mozart's sister Tosca spots the pup and gives this battered little baby a cuddle. Flower's grown-up son, Shakespeare, is keeping well out of all the infighting. This brave little meerkat has been concentrating on recovery after being bitten by a puff adder on his back leg. The leg is definitely on the mend, and as the rest of the group head off to find lunch, he makes a snap decision to follow the family. If he can keep up, then it's a sensible decision. Shakespeare needs to regain the weight he lost after the bite. Flower knows her territory like the back of her paw and can tell exactly where to find the tastiest treats. And Shakespeare is going to need every morsel he can find, but that leg still looks horribly sore, so it's going to be tough. Back at the burrow, Yossarian's babysitting skills aren't getting any better. He's popped out and brought back some lunch for the babysitters, but typically he hasn't thought it through at all. He's chucked a little skink in on a first-come, first-served basis, but meerkats, especially baby ones, aren't very good at sharing, and this is going to cause all sorts of trouble. Yossarian decides that he's going to end this argument once and for all and tries to eat the skink himself. But Cruz isn't going to give up without a fight. Flower's pups are turning into complete brats, and Yossarian has had enough. He won't be volunteering for babysitting duties again. All three litters of pups belonging to Flower, Mozart and Tosca are growing up fast and getting harder and harder to babysit. The time has come for the whole family to go out foraging together. It's early afternoon by the time everyone is assembled. This is a very big occasion for the Whiskers family. Taking all 11 pups out at the same time is a huge challenge. It's a bit like a school trip, and everyone, adults and pups alike, is nervous and excited. If the pups are going to survive, they have to learn the importance of all staying together. All the adults are focused on keeping watch for predators and training the youngsters in the rules of the bush. Conscientious first-time mum Tosca is rounding up her pups as school is about to start. Learning how to cross open ground, the meerkat equivalent of the main road, is one of the most important lessons for their first day out. In this case, it's not cars, but birds of prey which they have to watch out for. Moving so many young pups at the same time is very stressful. It's all about picking exactly the right moment to go. Mission accomplished. Now it's time to treat the kids to a meal out. Unfortunately, the menu just isn't designed for kids. And some of the food is pretty hard to swallow. As the afternoon wears on, the excitement, not to mention all the running around, is starting to take its toll. Two of Mozart's pups simply can't take the pace. Some of the adults also rest up in the shade. Although the rest of the family are taking it easy, Mozart can't relax. She is watching Flower closely and is in a state of anxiety over her fragile position in the family. Flower is equally wound up. Looking at how many of them are out today, she knows that the family is getting too big, and the only way to stop it growing is to teach her own grown-up daughters that they simply cannot breed. It's a recipe for confrontation. Flower attacks Mozart. This time it's not a warning, but a full-scale beating. Mitch looks on from a safe distance. This is how his mum keeps control over the family, and he's taking it all in. Her job done, the ferocious Flower chills out once more. Whether the exclusion of her daughter is permanent remains to be seen. She certainly won't be welcome for some time to come. From now on, she's on her own, and can't even return to see her own pups. It's been a stormy afternoon emotionally for the Whiskers, and now the weather is following suit. It's the rainy season, and downpours at this time of the year tend to be sudden and very heavy. Meerkats hate getting wet, and when the rain closes in, they head for the nearest cover. But unfortunately, they've ended up in unfamiliar territory. They've been foraging at the outer margins of their land, and the first burrow they find belongs to their arch enemies, the lazuli. They have a history of vicious fights, and there's no love lost between these two families. There's a break in the weather, which gives the family a moment to consider their situation, but another storm is on its way, and they must get below ground. But what if the lazuli are down there, sheltering from the storm themselves? They can smell who the burrow belongs to, but they need somewhere to shelter from the rain. The question is it empty? Finally, Tosca plucks up the courage to go and investigate. If she comes face to face with the lazuli, they'll kill her. The rest of the family can only wait anxiously for news. Tosca checks every single tunnel and chamber. With the lives of the family at stake, she's not taking any chances. It takes several minutes, but at last they decide it's safe to go below. And with the evening drawing in, it looks as if they're here for the night. But sleeping here, especially with all the young pups in tow, will be a risky strategy. Meerkats fight to the death over territory, and the lazuli could arrive home at any minute. But the Whiskers are going to have to take that gamble. After last night's storm, the Whiskers wake up to a glorious African morning. To everyone's relief, especially Flowers, it's been a peaceful night for the family, with no sign of the rightful owners returning home. They should now cut their losses and make a hasty retreat back to their own territory. But no one seems in a hurry to go. The whole family is in high spirits and they appear to be making themselves at home. A hare unwittingly strays into the burrow area, but he's quickly sent packing. The Whiskers are getting seriously territorial. It's almost as if they're planning to stay. But no self-respecting meerkat family would give up a prime piece of land like this without a fight. So the lazuli, if they return, will have something to say about this. While the rest of the Whiskers family hang out together at the stolen burrow, grooming and enjoying each other's company, it's a very different story for poor Mozart. Evicted from her family for having pups, she has spent the night alone. Without anyone to cuddle up with, she will have been very cold in the night. And now in the chilly morning air, she is shivery and miserable. Alone, her chances of survival are very slim. If a predator doesn't get her, the parasites and lack of food will leave her starving and diseased. Her only hope is to try and rejoin the group. But that's not going to be easy. At the lazuli burrow, the Whiskers are finding that as well as comfy beds, the stolen burrow also has an abundance of food. As the hours go by, the Whiskers get more and more settled in the lazuli territory. And Cruz and Mitch have even found some new toys to play with. Eventually it's clear that there's not going to be a game or even a meal in this one, and it's time to give up. Like the hare before him, the tortoise makes the quickest getaway he possibly can. But someone is spying on this contented little group from the bushes. Luckily, it's not one of the lazuli, it's Mozart. She's followed their trail, but can only look on wistfully from a safe distance. Any closer, and she risks another beating. Fortunately for her, Flower is too busy laying down scent markers to notice her. She's taken the bold decision to stay at the lazuli burrow, and the markers are there to warn everyone that this burrow now belongs to the Whiskers. She's taking a huge risk, and Zaphod, the male head of the family, knows it. He's not forgotten that they are in enemy territory and is keeping watch for the lazuli. Shakespeare's so concerned that he's standing on his damaged leg. Despite the pain, he's determined to keep watch and play his part in protecting the family. It's just as well he's on the ball, as he's the first to spot trouble. And it doesn't get more serious than this. The lazuli, the rightful owners of the stolen burrow, are back and outraged to find their sworn enemies, the Whiskers, living in their burrow. Flower is aghast. They've been caught red-handed. They head for the nearest bushes to regroup. This is going to be ugly. With the tension becoming unbearable, the lazuli launch their attack. The Whiskers don't hesitate. They've no choice but to go for it. Flower is leading from the front and goes for the dominant female of the lazuli. The pups are petrified and keeping well out of it. If their family lose, they will be killed by the enemy. Despite his damaged leg, Shakespeare has joined the attack, but he is set upon by a whole gang of lazuli. The battle goes on and on, with neither side giving way, until finally the lazuli are forced into a humiliating defeat. They have lost a much-loved burrow and a precious 200 square meters of territory. It's a disaster for them. The Whiskers have won the day, but not without a number of casualties. Shakespeare's face is bleeding, but he's okay, and all of them are savoring the sweet taste of victory. With the evening drawing in, the family can stay at their new burrow with complete confidence. Flower has led them to an historic victory. Their success is largely down to the courage and determination of this Iron Lady and her devoted family. But although they should be relaxing, the group are on alert. Someone is still watching them from the bushes. It's Mozart. Despite all they have been through, Mozart will not be let back into the family. Flower has decided on her punishment, and the family know that in times of crisis, they must all follow their leader. Flower's strength is being tested to the limit, and so is Mozart's. She just wants to be with her family. The future is bleak if they won't take her back. Next time on Meerkat Manor, with Mozart out of the family, Flower turns her wrath on her other wayward daughter, Tosca, with distressing consequences. And Flower's pup, Mitch, gets his comeuppance when he steals food from the other pups and ends up at death's door.